Hey everyone, Izzy here again with another short demo of my new and improved version of my Spanish reader. So this program allows you to keep a dictionary of known words and words that you're in the progress of learning. I'll show this to you momentarily. And you can create any stories to read. I would highly recommend that you use AI for this because everything is set up in JSON, but you can literally feed it text and say, create this into the JSON format that's required. And I won't show that in this video, but I can do another one to show you how to do that, or even possibly set up a public chat GPT that would just automatically configure it for you. So I'm going to do here is this is my 12th version of my Spanish reader. I'm going to double click this. This has to run in either Chrome or Edge. It will not work in any other browser. So just so you know that. So you have a place to open your lexicon, which is your dictionary, and you have a place to open a story. And so I'm going to click on open here for my lexicon. And it is going to just drop me into my file system, and I'm going to go down here and click Spanish, my folder here, and there's my lexicon.json file. And this just has a ton of words in there. It's always going to come up and say, allow this to edit the lexicon, and you're going to say, yes, save changes. And now it's loaded, and it shows you the word counts that are in here. So words could be new. You've never seen them before. They're highlighted in blue. Seen means you've seen them, and they're in yellow. If you mark it familiar, it's green. And then if you mark it known, it just goes to white. So now I can open my story. I can click open text over here. And I created a stories folder. So for example, I grabbed this story. Well, I'll do my kitchen story. So this is a story I had my AI write about kitchen appliances going on a little adventure because I wanted to learn the Spanish words for kitchen appliances. If I click open, you see that it opens up this little story down here, and it automatically highlights my words based on what I have indicated previously about this. So this says the grand adventure of the kitchen. And then here you have in a kitchen, well lighted and tidy. The objects were preparing for a peaceful day. And you can see here that I have already previously indicated that I know these words. For example, cocina. If you click on this, it comes up and shows you the definition that I have saved there. And it is set to known. I can demote that down if maybe I got too aggressive and set it known and I've forgotten it. You can demote it back down as well with this. And I'll show you another feature in a moment here. If I click on ordenada, it's set to familiar. That's why it's green. You see here the definition is tidy. And so you can see that. Now, if I jump down here, descansaba is in blue. So this is saying that I've never encountered this word before in any of my stories I've read. This dictionary lives beyond, across stories, which is the usefulness of this, because you can continue to create new stories and it will always highlight your stories appropriately. So if I click on this, you see that I have no definition here. I could click lookup and see that it's saying rested. Now, this is using a free API to a Spanish dictionary, and it's not always very good. And so I don't have it automatically putting it in here. You could click accept and it will put the value in here. You can also type in your own values. So I could say it rested as well, rested, or whatever I want in here is fine, and click close. And now I can mark this as seen. So I'm going to click seen and hit close. And I wasn't checking the numbers, but this should have went down by 1 and this should have went up by 1 here. And you see that this is now highlighted in yellow. And this will highlight any other word down here in this story or any other story accordingly. For example, let's pick on, where's a word that we have lots of? In. Okay, very common word. If I click on that, let's say I demote this to seen. See how it now has highlighted that word blue everywhere in this story. And if I was to open another story, it would show it as blue as well. If I go back here and mark it known again, then it marks them all as known. So this is a way where you can read stories in Spanish and keep track of how comfortable you are with words and advance them along. I added to this new version the ability to look up phrases and add those to your dictionary as well. So up here it says highlight words and press Alt and T for a phrase lookup. So I could come down here and you see right here, I've probably already done this, de repente is like a phrase. And if I hit Alt T, it says suddenly. This is what I've already added in here. And so this is a way, this is now in my dictionary as that. So click on a single word, gives you that definition. If I click on repente, gave me something, I'm not sure what my AI did there with that. But if you highlight the words, so for example, I could go down here and what's another one? That's maybe a common phrase, but it literally doesn't matter. It doesn't care. It will just save that phrase to your dictionary if you tell it to. So here's another one, de regreso, on the way back, and I've already done that one as well. So if I hit Alt T, this says on the way back or back to. And that phrase, now it doesn't show the phrases in here highlighted. Maybe that's some kind of a future thing I might do, I don't know. Or maybe here's another one I haven't done before. Al final, if I hit Alt T, it doesn't have anything. I can hit Alt lookup. At the end, I think that's accurate. I could always go over to Google Translate or DeepL or something and double check it. Or God forbid, a physical dictionary. But I'm going to accept it. So I'm going to click accept and it will put that there. I could say, in the end, maybe I like that definition as well. You can also put notes down here as well that are stored into the lexicon. And I'm going to mark this. Oh, that's a phrase. The phrases don't really, actually I haven't tested this. Alt T. I'm going to say familiar. Then let's go over here and open up pastel so we see that. And then let's go back and highlight this and let's see if it left it familiar. Alt T. Yeah, it did. Okay, cool. So it's putting that in the database as well. So as you can see, this runs pretty fast. That's the reason for the JSON. Is I originally started out with this project doing it in Google Docs with a Google Sheet dictionary, but it was way too slow. So maybe there's a better way to do this, but I'm just experimenting with this and having fun. So I'll just show you real quick another feature I added, and that's flashcards. So what I like to do is after a while you see that your familiar count is getting larger. So I put a flashcard thing in here um, where you can quiz yourself on those familiar words and mark them as known if you feel like you know them now. So what I like to do is advance words from new to seen to familiar, and then at some point go through my familiars and move them to known if I want to. So, for example, tranquillo, kilo, I know. This means calm, tranquil. So let's go to the flashcards. And I've got one. Now, see, this pueden is not even in the story. I didn't see it there anyway. But it's in my dictionary as green, familiar. I can click on this and say, oh, they can. And I'm going to say, yeah, I actually know this. So I'm going to click this. And if I hit end, you'll see, well, that was supposed to go down. It didn't. Am I going to get pointed again? I don't, but it's not refreshing the count. Got a bug. I'll have to get that to do that. Fix that for me. Regreso, I'm going to skip that one. Tranquilo. Okay, show definition. Quiet, calm, tranquil, relax. I'm going to say I know that. And I'll just stop here. So now that one went down. I don't know why the pointed didn't. So you see here that this went down and this went up in counts, and I've got 14 familiar words now. So that's just the process I like, so I wrote it this way, that you can move them to familiar and then kind of flashcard yourself through the familiars from time to time and just see how you're doing with your words. Like sartén, I think means frying pan. It does. So I'm going to mark that familiar. So that went back up to 15. And the scene went down to 335.90. And so that, now I can kind of keep a track on that. If I open up another text, I can go in here. This was my kitchen story, right? Let's go in, and I had it write me a story about how rugby is played. But you can literally, I scraped an article off of CNN and had it formatted as a JSON file. And you can open that. This is going to have a lot of blue words. Oh, yeah, I wanted to ask it to ignore numbers. So no, I decided not to do that. So you can see here that it automatically highlighted these. Now, these numbers didn't change because this is what's in your lexicon. So it's not based on the story you're on. This is your words. So here you can see all of these things in here. And I can click on this. I'm just going to say US, and mark it known. I'm not even going to bother with lookup. Here, this is why I decided to keep the numbers. If I click on this, I can say 80 siete. And that gives me, so this I think would be good practice. I'm still learning my numbers. So I think it'd be good practice to go ahead and put that in here. And I'm going to mark that one familiar as well. So now you're seeing 87 there like that. So yeah, so basically this is the program. Septiembre, that's September. I know that one. I'm going to mark it known, hit close, so forth and so on. And yeah, so you can literally grab articles off the internet, whatever you want to do, have your AI write stories for you, all kinds of things. So this is a demo of my program. If you're interested in trying this out, I could load this stuff into GitHub. I would probably just set all the words to unknown in the lexicon so that you'd have a fresh batch to start with. And you can see I've got 10,749 total words in there right now. And I probably will be updating those periodically as well for people. And that's, again, with your AI is really easy to do. I downloaded a ton of words and I said, merge my known words that was in a CSV format into my JSON lexicon, and it just did it for me and beautifully. And I had this huge lexicon file. Okay, I think that's it. Thanks a lot. We'll talk to you later.